Let's talk about them a little more.
Yeah.
I realize all the discussion is probably going to move on to the playoff itself, but let us talk about the job that Mike Norvell has done over the past 4 years. I remember when he was 0-4 year 2, they'd lost to Jacksonville State. It felt like everything was falling apart. It felt like they would never be able to figure it out. The fan base wanted him fired, but they just fired Willie Taggart. They didn't really have the money to fire anybody else. And he said, he had a press conference. He got testy with somebody asking a question. And he said, I know it will get better because I see it every day, and we're not changing. And you saw it that year where they fought and fought and fought. They didn't win them all, but they kept fighting. And then last year, they had that 3-game losing streak, and everybody's like, are we sure this is the guy? And then they reel off a winning streak. And then this year, everything comes together. And what sucks is that everything came together and the system prevented them from actually competing for a championship.
Legitimately one of the, from the outside looking in, at least by nature of how they've won games and how they've progressed since he's been there, got to be one of the strongest cultures in college football.
Absolutely.
And he's done it with transfer portal
Right, they
guys.
keep bringing portal guys in.
Keon Coleman,
yeah.
Jaheim Bell, Jordan Travis is a transfer, Ventrell Sipe. I mean, guys that made big time, not just like role players, like big time contributors.
Jared Verse.
It's incredible. Yeah. And so, I mean, I think this is, I mean, if you're a Florida State fan, let's call a spade a spade. Like this sucks. This absolutely sucks. And there's nothing that you feel like you should do differently besides have maybe some better luck with how things went in that North Alabama game.
Get yourself in the SEC or the Big Ten.
It's just, I mean, it's
and I realize
horrific.
That's probably not possible with the grant of rights, but it is like we talked about that all August. That's what they want to do. And if they were in one of those leagues this year, they'd probably be in the playoff. Yeah. I mean, they definitely would if they had this record. But it's there. I feel so bad, and I've talked to different coaches who've been through this. I remember talking to James Franklin after Penn State was left out of the playoff in 2016 when they won the Big Ten, but Ohio State was put in instead. Actually Washington got in over Penn State. Ohio State was the 3 seed. But if you're sitting there watching a team you beat in the conference you play in get in, what do you say to your team? There's nothing you can say.
And I'm curious to see how they respond to this. Because if it's anything like a Mike Norvell operation we've seen to this point in the year, I think they'll probably go out in the bowl game and play really good football.
The problem is, are those draft guys going to play in that bowl game at all?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be, they're going to the Orange Bowl. Like, we don't have to wait for the bowl show on that one. Contractually, they're going to the Orange Bowl. And I believe contractually, they're going to have to play Georgia.
It's a tough draw.
It's the next highest ranked Big Ten or SEC team. So which one was 5? Was Georgia 5? Georgia was 6. Georgia 6. Yeah, so they're playing Georgia.
It's a tough draw.
Yeah.
It's not a fun draw.
But none of Georgia's draft guys are going to be there either.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what Brock Bowers does in this one. Because he seems like he's the guy that just said multiple times.
He did say, I don't care if my foot falls off my leg, I'm playing.
Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, that's given what we've seen from this Florida State team, I could see some of those guys getting together, like the Jared Verse getting those guys together and saying, let's do it. Let's just show that they didn't beat us,
And if they beat Georgia, Andy, are they UCFing it and hanging a banner? I think like internally you got to at least talk about it.
They made fun of UCF too much. They made too much fun of UCF. You can't do that.
Maybe don't hang a banner, but I think it would do a lot just for the, hey,
but
this is what we were capable of.
I do have
y'all
some
missed out on
very hard conversations with the conference leadership about what happened 2 years ago, because this is their fault. Like, there should be a 12-team playoff right now. Florida State would be in it.
Yeah.
But there's not.
And the tough part is, too, because now you're moving forward and saying, well, things got to change. Like, oh, no, they are changing next year. So it's like...
But that doesn't do these people any good.
It's so frustrating. Yeah. It's so frustrating if you're
there. Yeah, it's just... It sucks for them. For us, the viewers, it's a pretty intriguing playoff.
Yeah. I think they got it right. At the end of the day, as wild
I don't
as
think
it
there
is
was
to
a
say,
right answer. I don't think they could have gotten it right. The system sucked so bad that they had no right answer, and that's why they're getting rid of the stupid system. Unfortunately, they're getting rid of it 1 year too late.
I think they did the best that they could have with the information they had.
Correct. And so, Michigan, Alabama Rose Bowl.
Yep.
Texas, Washington Sugar Bowl. The winners will play for the national title.